Yo, 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 you already know what we doing. Yours News. We back again. New episode. Man, look, this is a very special episode. Man, this is something I've been trying to get done for a long time. And it's really special to me because as a kid, this all I was, yeah, it just was everywhere. And when y'all see who I'm about to interview, y'all gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. It's Chicago's very own, and we about to do it. Let's go, let's do it. Yo, Mike, what's up, man? How you doing, boss? How you doing? How you doing, boss?
Good.
I'm glad to see you today, man. I had to come bother you and throw your schedule off a little bit for today.
That sounds good.
Look.
Popping up.
I appreciate you. Look, Mike, my name's Sincere. The city, they know you, they know the voice, they know the legendary, they know everything about, Mike Love.
Right.
But today, I don't wanna really talk about your music career. I really wanna let them people know who you are and talk about your story a little bit and, get a little bit more about you. So. Today is like, it's special for me, and I know it's special for the city. I know Chicago, look, stand up when you see this. Look, this is Mike Love, we in the house. But yeah, man, today we here to hear your story and, check you out a little bit. But
I'm with it.
Yeah, man, just tell me a little bit more about yourself. Like, how did you start with all this, even before the music came into place?
Through DJing. Radio come from DJing, man.
Yeah.
Everything. That's why it's something that I always wanted to do, always wanted to stay with.
Yeah.
Just going to the skating rinks when I was a shorty, listening to the DJs. Yeah. I think everybody from my era that's a DJ, that became a DJ, I'm talking about on the turntable.
The turntable,
right,
yeah.
Not a radio DJ.
Right.
We got into it because we went out to the parks and the parties and we saw somebody that made us want to do it.
Right.
So that was my first thing, my first love. It was the music, but it was DJing. So as a shorty, just get my little pause mixes on with the turntables and everything.
And not to cut you off, if I'm correct, it was DJs the main character then? Was it the artist or was the DJs the main character?
The DJs
I think the DJs was the main character then.
Yeah.
Wasn't? Am I telling the truth, bro?
You're right.
Oh, okay.
You're right. Before the rappers became the spotlight, the DJ was, and then the DJ got pushed to the background and the MC came out. And then, rap evolved and everything to what it became.
Yeah.
The DJ was definitely the main character.
Oh, man, because I think a lot of people in the rap culture don't really understand that the DJ was the actual party, the party and how everything
MC
moved.
Came in and got on the mic and did his thing and hyped everything up. While the DJ, did his thing on the turntables.
Right. So,
but it was still hand in hand.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. But the DJ is
absolutely.
The DJ is essential. We ain't gonna knock the DJ. We gotta pay homage to the DJs and the producers. But even with that, tell us a little bit about your story. Where you from and how it all started with this.
So I'm originally from Milwaukee. And I started there and went to school there. Was born and raised there.
Okay.
And ended up coming here, basically through DJing, getting on the radio on GCI. So I just paid a lot of dues in the mill.
Yeah.
On the scene, DJing in clubs and parties, basements.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we did back in the day.
And then even with that, we could take a seat right here too.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we could take a seat. Even with Milwaukee and Chicago, kind of cousin, it's kind of like a cousin city type thing. So
real close, about an hour and a half drive. So everybody got family up there, so I have family down here. So it was nothing to come down.
Okay,
with your people, we come down on Saturdays, do some record shopping.
Right.
Back in the day when all the record stores was everywhere on every corner.
My grandma stayed down the street from George's Music Room. We used to walk to George's Music Room.
So you already know.
And we ain't really know what we kind of thought records that's played out. We was looking at records like it was played out because we was coming up listening to CDs and stuff like that. So we didn't really know the importance of George's music room. Right. But now that we grown, obviously we know how they go. You know what I'm saying? And with you, like with you coming to Chicago and doing radio in Chicago, was it a big difference between Chicago and Milwaukee?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's light years difference. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know how Chicagoans will go to a city and be like, "This your downtown?
Yeah.
Oh, this y'all downtown?
Yeah.
Oh, this all y'all got?"
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you from Chicago. You go. I don't care what city you go to.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know. It's like that on every level.
I feel you.
You know, radio, DJing, clubs, parties. Like, Chicago is a party city. Like, people grow up and they dancing, they partying.
Yes.
Milwaukee was always more of a chill, laid back. Best way to put it.
What is?
Milwaukee more of a lounge town.
A lounge town.
Chicago is kind of that now.
Yeah.
And it always has its lounges, but it's always been clubs, big parties, and when people talk about back in the day, it's a big, large gathering somewhere.
Right.
Like, you from out west, right?
Yes.
So where was y'all going in your era?
In my era, we had places called like Fifth City, Sixth City. It was like basement parties and stuff like that. I think that era was out the window by that time.
You had something though,
we had a little bit of stuff, but I think it was gone. But I think our thing was more of the block parties than the Fifi. You know, everybody coming outside and, on the blocks kicking it and but that also. See, it's crazy we talking about that. People don't even understand that's culture in Chicago. Being outside on the front porch and
outside, period.
And just even seeing kids dancing and footwork and just that's culture.
And that's something that you did not have. That's a part of the culture that did not exist in Milwaukee, where I'm from.
Right.
People chill at the crib. It's not a lot of block parties. It was not a lot of, just gatherings.
Right.
Like you said, Fifi, like, it's got its own name.
It got its own name.
You hear that, you like, oh yeah, they definitely out west.
They definitely out west. And with us, I think a big part that plays in Chicago music is blues. Would you say blues? Absolutely. And my grandmother kind of taught me, and it's so crazy. Shout out Buddy Guy and shout out Shauna and shout out the whole team. But the Sinners movie, I think people just getting the light and knowing what Chicago is about the history. Like, I don't really want to talk hip hop and rap and all that. I be wanting people to know that Chicago is deeper than we got Chief Keefs and but I'm talking about the how it was back in the day.
For somebody from your generation, is helping to spread that information, that knowledge, and you educated on it, and you're pushing that off to the next generation, because it's important, man. A lot of kids don't know the history. A lot of young people, a lot of people from out of Chicago don't know it.
Yes,
so we gotta be the one to let them know.
Yes, and I feel like even with that time, I feel like music was so tough though. Like, the opportunities we got to make all this money and those people was going through different stuff, like actual segregation, racism, different things just to do music.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's important, and I think a lot of people got highlighted. They like Sinners, Chicago. I'm like, blues, we the home. So and us being a home, I want to go back to you. As a kid, in my mother's backseat, I'm riding down Madison, and she doing her thing, and kicking it. I'm hearing you coming through these radio waves.
Right.
I'm gonna say 97, 96, 97.
98-ish.
Okay, 97, 98-ish, and just the start of that, when you started that whole thing in 97, how was that for you? Like, just bringing Bad Boy Radio to Chicago. How was that?
That era was crazy, man. It was something like you would never see before that and never seen since. Like with me and Dizz, my partner on Bad Boy.
Shout out Dizz. Shout out Dizz,
we took it over. We really elevated, and everybody that worked there will say that we elevated what was already there.
Yes.
Because we brought so much Chicago to the radio. We brought workouts and juke.
Yes.
We brought local rappers making promos for us.
Yes.
We brought the birthday line, and every day is somebody. I mean, and you can see to this day, like artists make songs about birthdays.
They make it. If
you just search birthdays,
it's up there. It's up there.
That was something that we knew 30 years ago. That's where the birthday line came from.
Man,
the concept is every day is somebody's birthday, and everybody's celebrating on their birthday every day.
And I like how you broke it down on your Instagram post, because you said people don't want the birthday line; they want the feeling. Exactly. And when you said that, and when you said that, I kind of was like, you right. Like we really not saying we don't want it, because we want it.
Think they want it, they do, but you want the feeling of it.
And like you said, all this internets and apps and having to go through the apps
everybody
to get this.
Grown now, and everybody got more responsibilities. Shit, who don't want to be 10 again? Who don't want to be 17? How old was you when you was in the back seat?
Now, like you said, 10 or something, whatever around there. So
that's the thing. Everybody want to be. I want to be 30 again. I was 30 when I was doing that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I really have to try to get people to see in Chicago, because we love our history in this city.
We do.
We embrace who we embrace, and they embrace forever. Definitely. So I love that about the city. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we also got to be like, let's move on in life. Definitely. And let's realize that even if you want more than the feeling back, you can still do it with your people.
You can still do it with your people. I saw you said that. Definitely. So, and even with that, because there's a lot of people, like young kids right now, wanting to be DJs, and when they see this interview, they're gonna be like, we heard this name, but we never seen Mike Love, and a lot of people ain't seen you.
Because radio wasn't visual back then. Like, everything is visual now.
All this content wasn't going on. You know what I'm saying?
Like, everybody know who Charlamagne the God is and what he looked like, because he came up in
that era.
In an era where that is in your face.
But the one thing we can say is Mike Love and the Dizz will be forever live in Chicago, and when you say that, people know that name. They know that name.
They do, and they know that birthday line.
Keep
it alive.
Keep it alive.
I ain't coming out doing it.
Nah, definitely.
Not at my age.
And even with the younger DJs though, like I know you see a lot of DJs on Instagram. Like, would you say it's a lot of politics in like being a DJ and trying to be a DJ on radio? Like what's the politics? Because people think like Chicago is real heavy on politics and gatekeeping and all that.
I hear that a lot.
How you feel about that?
I think the thing is people don't really know how to be a DJ on the radio. Or if people know DJing, but they don't really know hot mixing. Because hot mixing is as a concept, and I actually want to start making some videos about that. Right. Yeah. Where we explaining why the songs need to keep moving quick. Like I've had people like, hey, make me a 20-minute mix. Let me see what you got. And the song will be playing for 4-5 minutes. And you can't even do that in a party nowadays, much less on the radio.
You need 30 seconds in a party.
Right. And it's similar with the radio, not as extreme. The radio can be extreme because people listen differently in a party. Because there's so many outside things involved. It's like alcohol and drugs, possibly, and hookah. So it's about a vibe. Whereas listening to the radio is different. You're in the car, you ride, blah, blah, blah. So I would say there are gatekeepers per se, but a lot of times there need to be people like me who pull people aside and say, hey, this is how you do, this is how you go about making that happen.
And even with that, like sticking with towards the politics subject, like we all know how Chicago is, and we all have been in Chicago for a long time, so we know that. So know how things go. So even with that, that's what this channel do. Like my channel, I wanna not highlight it, but I don't wanna hide or not talk about certain things. So I kind of like, how do you feel about how much the streets of Chicago played in the music scene? Like, do you think, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of,
honestly believe,
I be in, and not to cut you off,
go ahead.
I be in New York a lot, you know what I'm saying? And shout out all my New York people, shout out Lil C, shout out Flash, shout out Tex, Smith and West, and all the people I rock with. But they able to do a lot of business out there, even if people got problems. Even if they don't, they know how to say, all right, let's get the money. You know what I'm saying?
And
so
we have never been able to do that.
And I think just how much do the streets, you feel the streets play in Chicago music?
The streets, to me, have kept Chicago from being like any other market, any other city.
Yeah.
Because everything is always gonna come back to the streets. Let me tell you a quick story. Like it was Jada Kid, it was Joe and Jada. They had they podcast. Right.
They podcast.
They was talking about, Joe was talking about this dude, Jelly Bean Benitez, who was bringing in a lot of young Latinos under the umbrella of we all Mexican or we all Latin, let's band together.
Yeah.
But he was robbing cats. He was like robbing them for their publishing and everything, right? All of that.
Yeah.
And he basically said, it's been 25 years and we still trying to get our blah, blah, blah from this dude. And I could see the people that I follow from Chicago in the comments, and they was like, well, why don't you run up on him? Like,
that's how we be thinking. That's how we be thinking, and that's not right. Because in business, when contracts is involved, they expect you to do things.
Your ass is beat
that's what I'm saying.
And the industry sees that. And I said, see what you just said right there? Yeah. I was like, that's Chicago business.
Yeah.
Because my man said in the comment, he was like, oh, we running up on my man.
Oh yeah, easy. Even if we know you probably can still hinder our life, we probably might still want to try something.
Not might.
And
that is 110% what is kept, because people be like, oh no, that's not how this industry works.
Nah.
We gangsters in Chicago.
And even to that point, like even when it comes to pushing artists, I feel like what side you from and where you from matters in Chicago.
It do. It always has, man.
That's crazy.
And that's just the rap game, and that's just always the way it's been, and that's always the way it's gonna be.
Definitely.
Because it's not gonna change. So people complain about having to leave, but if you want to do business the way business need to be done, you're gonna have to leave. And, and then you got to be mindful about making sure you paid whatever dues that you owe back at the crib. Because, brothers, stay having a Chicago manager and then sign with somebody else.
Man,
and then you got that old manager that's knocking on the door like, hey man,
what's up, man? Yeah,
we got a contract.
And that's crazy, because I think that's why I'll do stuff the way I do. I try to stay, I know it might hit my pockets a little more, but I'm trying to bet on myself.
Bet on yourself,
you know what I'm saying? So that's why we here talking to you, and even with you guys, like just getting a little more back to with the birthday line thing. How did, like when you guys knew it was about to go away, you was about to lead when y'all lead the GCI about
GCI, what? 07.
07? Okay, bet. Was it like summer or something, or like top of the year?
I left in the top of the year, like February, and Dizz left in like December.
Okay, bet.
So he was there with Frankie Robinson for like 10 months after I left.
Okay, bet.
So, but once I left, he stopped doing it because he was like, it don't make no sense to do the birthday line without Mike Love.
Right.
So it kind of ended there.
Yeah, nah, that's and I think that was like the saddest. I remember a lot of people talking about it. Wasn't no like tweets and posts, but if you're in your neighborhood and your mama or they know and
what a birthday line.
My mama like they ain't on the radio no more. So and it's just like gone. You know what I'm saying?
And that's life, and that's radio, and that's something that you get used to if you're gonna deal with the business. It's like the business of music, the business of rap, the business of radio.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna be in it, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of actions of how things work.
And even with like you and yourself right now, like your transition whole to going to a new radio station and doing your thing in a more what would be the difference in the two you say and the two radio stations that you worked at?
Well, V103 now is basically GCI when I was on GCI. Meaning, what's crazy is that people don't really understand this about how music changed. So V103, when I was at GCI, was the station that you didn't want to end up on because that's where the old people were. Oh, right? That's where Herb Kent and them. And
that's
fine.
That was dope.
We had respect for them.
Yeah.
But they was still the older guys.
Yeah.
We were still young and hip and cool. I told them, I was like, man, they're going to take me kicking and screaming to V103. This was, again, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because 07 is like 19 years ago,
that's
right?
like 19
so about 20 years.
Yeah.
So the difference then was it was the hits and dusty station. But now, fast forward 20 years, music has changed. If you was 50 then, you 70 now. If you was 70 then, if you still alive,
you right. Yeah, you right.
So the radio station itself, V103, has to get younger. It has to move away from 70s and move toward 80s and 90s. Because now I'm 60. Yeah. The people around me is 50 or 40. Now they want to hear this music that they came up with. Right. Because if you go back too far,
and the music that they came up with would be kind of new, not new, but it's new.
Cash Money taking over in 99, bro.
Yeah.
26, 27
but it's so
years
relevant.
Ago. It feels right. But
it's
when you
so
grew up
relevant.
with it, but when you watch NBA basketball and they be talking to the players and they be like, man, I was born in 06 or 08. And they be like, anybody with 19 behind their ears is an unk. Like, you gotta think like them now. Like, that's
I guess you're right.
to them.
I guess you're right.
My youngest T is 25 now. Okay. She was born in 2000. But most of the music she came out before she was born. Right. Soul. She's like, give me that Frankie Beverly and Mays. And that's that Chicago.
Yeah, that's that Chicago.
Because we listen to it.
Yeah.
Your mama listened to it. My mama listened to it. And it's like, so we. So I'll say that V103 is now, when I said V103 is GCI back then, I'm literally playing songs that we was playing when I was on GCI.
Hey, whatever they, you know.
So I'm comfortable. I'm like, I know all these songs. We was playing them back then. Like we playing Missy Elliott and Tweet, and Biggie and Pac. Yeah. So V103 has become that now.
Nah, definitely, and even with all that, like you said, the music has changed and the sounds has changed, but the one thing we don't have a lot of is like hearing from people like you and the DJs who kind of made a difference in the city. Like I was telling somebody, like Chicago, I go to New York a lot and do business a lot, but Chicago, I tell them we don't have a market for, I don't like saying this, but we don't have a market for music. If that makes sense.
It makes sense.
Am I okay then? Because
I've been here for 35 years.
Yeah.
Everything you say, I know and have experienced and gone through myself.
We don't have an actual market. We have the imagery, we have the talk, we got the look, we got everything the industry want. Like they come dip in and take it and take everything from Chicago.
Because they don't want the violence to come through.
Yeah, but we like y'all swag. We like what y'all do.
Let's borrow their slang. Let's borrow their swag. Let's borrow the way they dress.
And that's what I've been telling people. Like Chicago, people borrow from us a lot, but it's our fault as well because we don't do business right. Far as the city and the music, we let our I think the Chicago-ness take over the music. I think we put Chicago before music. Like I think that's sometimes I think we do that.
We from Chicago.
We put that before the music.
You know.
And I feel like that's the part I like. I want to teach a lot of more
That's
younger
good.
cats
Please,
coming up
please.
I go to New York and it's a large, like those rappers out there, we don't know they beefs, but they all from the era, the Wu-Tangs, they all feeding.
They just come from an infrastructure where it was all around. All the music labels was there. So they was walking up to Columbia Records and Def Jam and Bad Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
Right there.
It was right there.
We got to get on a plane for that.
And we got to get on the plane for that. And also our number one, I'm going to say influencer before Instagram, we love Al Capone. Our city is built off of that character right there.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Never gonna not be that.
And
I've had plenty of sit downs because this is a city of gangsters, and if you cross somebody and it might be some bloodshed and they don't want it to be bloodshed, then you're gonna sit down with somebody.
Right.
And have that's the way the gangsters do. If you watch a gangster movie, you watch Casino
definitely.
Any of them, they having a sit down on the Sopranos.
Yes.
So it's a part of our DNA.
Man, I appreciate it because people don't get to hear this side. Sometimes when they hear it, it sounds like it's just capping and just talking, but we hearing it from a legend. And Mike, I ain't gonna take too much of your time today. We gonna wrap this up. I'm glad you let me come out and chop it up with you, man.
I'm glad you came out and chopped it up.
And even with this, I feel like when they watch this, they'll get a little more you. And instead of like, yeah, of course we know the legend, we know, Mike Dizz and the legend of the birthday line. Hey, when y'all get a chance, y'all can still do the birthday line. Sing it, do it, tag Mike Love, and it's still lit. But the legend itself is just gonna always live on, bro. So
and I'm gone.
I don't even. We ain't gonna even. I wanted them to know you today, we gonna, cause the legend live on forever. So appreciate you again.
Sincere.
Man, we on Yours News today. Tell them, look, we came out, hollered at Mike Love. Look, and we got
in the city. Look at that little backdrop. We doing it downtown.
We got some real, conversations, and you know what I'm saying. If you don't know, tap in with Mike Love.
Tap in with me.
And let's get it. Yours News. We out. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Perfect.